Ladies and gentlemen, grab your wife and grab your son because we're talking about the infamous Alex Murdaugh. Grab your vices, grab your juice, got me some cranberry, and we're going to get straight into this sentencing and see exactly what he has to say at the very end of it all. Let's get straight into it.
Versus Richard Alexander Murdaugh. Your Honor, I have prepared the sentencing sheets signed up. If I can hand those up to the clerk.
Now, as Mr. Murdaugh, when you hear sentencing sheets, bro, your heart must be in your ball sack at this point. Because this shit, I would be scared, bro. I would be scared. This is the rest of my life. Let's get it.
Your Honor, very quickly, the defendant has no prior record, and the state has no victim impact people who want to speak at this time. But I will address the court briefly. And I don't need, Your Honor, to repeat the evidence that Your Honor just heard for the past 6 weeks, but it is overwhelming. And it shows this man to be a cunning manipulator, a man who placed himself above all others.
Now, should we give him that title of a cunning manipulator? Because to be honest, the only reason he didn't go to jail ASAP is because they had to go through legal proceedings and he was a big dog. But I honestly don't think he was conning anybody. You know what I mean? Sled was on his ass from day one. So I think this lawyer is just trying to make everything seem a bit more big than it is so that he could get that conviction.
Including his family. A man who violated the trust of so many, including his friends, his family, his partners, his profession.
Look at how the lawyer looks at Murdaugh. He's like, damn, bro, you're really a piece of shit.
But most of all, Maggie and Paul. This is a very complicated situation, and I want to offer my condolences to the family that has suffered here. We have tried very hard to be respectful and sensitive regardless of what position any person took, because this family has suffered and they've had to suffer in the public eye, and I want to offer my condolences to this family. I want to offer it for Maggie.
I know old boy in the back is part of the family. You guys let me know, but I think this whole section over here are family members of the Murdaugh family. But hey, it would be a wild thing to see Uncle over there, Pop, getting ready to get sent to jail for killing his wife. That would be a crazy story to tell.
And Paul and Mr. Randolph, too, who I had the pleasure of working with on one occasion. But the reality remains is that despite all this attention, this case is about Maggie Murdaugh and Paul Murdaugh, and I'm so thankful that the jurors gave them a voice. You heard about Paul. Obviously, there was the vote case, but you also heard him described as a fun-loving young man, a person who loved life, a person who would do anything for his friends, for anyone. And he's cut down as he was just starting to live his life.
And yeah, I'm going to show a little clip real quick. This is Paul. Like, my boy was just living life. He looked like a cool dude to hang out with, to be real. You know what I mean? And for his dad to just kill him like that, sorry about my things in the back. For his dad to just take him out like that, that is foul. You know what I mean?
You heard about Maggie. You heard how sweet she was. You heard that she was a girl's girl who adapted to the outdoorsman life of her sons, how much she loved her sister and her brother-in-law and their children, and she was cut down in the prime of her life. Both of them.
And that is prime of your life, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm 25 right now, but I know when you're 45, you're gonna have a lot more things figured out. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a lot more shit figured out, and that might really be your prime. You know what I mean? You understand how people think more. You understand how they interact with certain types of people. Like, this is time to really establish yourself as something great before you die. You know? But again,
like everyone else, was unaware of who he really was.
That is a fact.
Who thought they knew this man No one who thought they were close to this man knew who he really was. And, Your Honor, that's chilling.
That.
And I've looked in his eyes, and he liked to stare me down as he would walk by me during this trial. And I could see the real Alex Murdaugh when he looked at me.
He was like, "Oh, you got me there. You got me there." You see that face? You see that look on his face? That's the look of, "Ah, you got me. You caught me, huh? Now you're using it against me." That's crazy. 100% he gave him the stare down. And look at the cop behind him looking at him like, "You piece of shit." But yeah, that's definitely the most chilling thing about this entire case is that it was your dad. You hung out with him. You planted crops. You did all this shit together. And he kills you. That's hard to think about. Because I have a dad who, me and him did almost identical shit with me. We almost did identical shit as him and his son. You know, we shoot animals. We plant crops. We go on hikes in the forest, just me and him. He could have killed me at any point. So it's crazy to be like, people are actually capable of doing stuff like this. Watch your husband, man. Watch your kids.
The depravity, the callousness, the selfishness of these crimes are stunning. The lack of remorse and
Look
the
at the
effortless way in which he lies, including here, sitting right over there in this witness stand. Your Honor, a man like that, a man like this man, should never be allowed to be among free, law-abiding citizens again. And I would submit to you that the only just sentence here to give justice for Maggie and Paul is the maximum, and that would be 2 consecutive life sentences. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a big feat to go through. You definitely know you're going to be in there for the rest of your goddamn life. You're not going nowhere, buddy. You're not going nowhere.
You indicate that no victim would like to speak at this time. Would any victim like to speak at any time during these proceedings?
Your Honor, one of the things we did early on, obviously, as I just said, it's a very complicated situation, but we made the decision early on. We've had our victim advocate here who's been doing a wonderful job, regardless of the viewpoints of any individual family member, to provide aid and service to them, and we made that decision. I'm informed by our victim advocate that none of them wish to speak. The defense can certainly address that, but that's what I'm informed. But
you know, it's kind of like there's nothing to speak about. It's like a civil war against your own family. Where are you going to talk bad about your family? Nah, just quietly send them to jail because all the victims are family members and friends. It's not like there's another party. It's all within. So yeah, I wouldn't speak either. What am I going to say? Yeah, Dad, Unc, you're a piece of shit. Nah, it's going to make your whole family look bad. So quietly put the man in jail. Move on with your life.
they certainly were offered the opportunity as is required, and I want to commend our victim advocate on the excellent job she did in handling this complex situation that we wanted to be sensitive to, because again, none of us are not mindful of the fact of the suffering of this family.
I noticed Sled Chief Mark Keel is here. Would you like to address the court on any matters?
Again, we're here to see the justice is served, and we believe it has.
Thank you. For the defense.
Your Honor,
you can see the cops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. It's the way they behave, the way they sit. You could tell those are cops. It's crazy. So you have the cops over here. On the other side of the aisle, you have the family members. You have in front of the family members Alex Murdaugh.
and I would have no comment
And then you have the police who are there to take his ass to jail when he gets convicted.
at the defendant.
It's beautiful.
Would like to address the court, though.
Good morning, Your Honor. I'm innocent. I would never hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never hurt my son, Paw.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Sit down. Should I sit down? Sit down now? You're a fucking lawyer. You should know that. Again, that's why I don't think he was cutting through any of this. like I said, the only reason he didn't get arrested is because he had that bogus story that they just had to pick apart. But yeah, he's not a good lawyer, not in my opinion. Not as expressed in
Anything
this.
further?
I don't think further comment is necessary, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Murdaugh, if you'll come to the court for sentencing. This has been perhaps one of the most troubling cases, not just for me as a judge, for the state, for the defense team, but for all of the citizens in this community, all the citizens in this state, and as we have seen based on the media coverage throughout the nation. You have a wife who's been killed, murdered, a son savagely murdered.
Yo, it was so savage he couldn't even pronounce it. He was like, that shit was savage, dog. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. And there goes my last board. So now we have a white wall.
A lawyer, a person from a respected family who has controlled justice in this community for over a century. A person whose grandfather's portrait hang at the back of the courthouse.
Oh, he had status, bro. You got your grandpa on the back of the courthouse. You know you're walking through that bitch with some status. And I feel like that's why he just assumed he could get away.
Have ordered removed in order to ensure that a fair trial was had by both the state and the defense. And I've sat through the trial. Not only have I sat through the trial, but also as the presiding judge of the state grand jury, sat through and participated in the issuance of search warrants of various sorts, bond hearings, and
Yo, look at his son. Ew.
have had to consider many things.
And this is a whole other topic that we need to get into. I'm just waiting for a few more things to develop, but I might just pull the trigger on one or two stories. Buster he's a carbon copy of his pops.
And we have this case, and I'm also assigned to preside over 99 others, at least 99 other cases.
You're rambling, bro. Let's get to it.
Though testimony has come up regarding many of those other cases, I will not make any comment with regard to any other pending matter, as I have been assigned those cases as well. It's also particularly troubling, Mr. Murdaugh, because as a member of the legal community and a well-known member of the legal community, you've practiced law before me, and we've seen each other at various occasions throughout the years. And it was especially heartbreaking for me to see you go in the media from being a grieving father who lost a wife and a son to being the person indicted and convicted of killing them.
That's wild, man. All these people know each other. It's like playing a game of Clue. Everybody knows each other. The lawyer defending him knows the prosecutor knows the defending lawyer, the judge knows all the lawyers. Like, you know, it's just like, bruh. I'm glad they were able to scoop him up out of there.
and you've engaged in such duplicitous conduct here in the courtroom, here on the witness stand, and as established by the testimony throughout.
Look at his son, though. It's almost like he doesn't care that his dad did that. He just wants his dad to get off. I think they clearly have a tighter bond than him and Paul did, but it's just weird that he seems like he doesn't give a fuck.
The time leading from the time of the indictment and prior to the indictment throughout the trial to this moment in time, certainly you have no obligation to say anything other than saying not guilty. And obviously, as appeals are probably expected or absolutely expected,
Oh, expect that.
I would not expect a confession of any kind. In fact, as I've presided over murder cases over the past 22 years, I have yet to find a defendant who could go there, who could go back to that moment in time when they decided to pull the trigger or to otherwise murder someone. I have not been able to get anyone, any defendant, even those who have confessed to being guilty, to go back and explain to me what happened at that moment in time when they opted to pull the trigger.
Oh, that was coming for a
They
while.
opted to commit the most heinous crimes known to man. In this case, qualifies under our death penalty statute based on the statutory aggravating circumstances of two or more people being murdered.
But why would you really just say, yeah, Your Honor, I did it? Fuck her. I didn't like her. I didn't like her. Like, that'll make you look worse. I mean, it'll make you look truthful, but it'll make you look bad. So I feel like that's why everybody just kind of just says no. But I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be one of those people that you're looking for, Judge. I'd be like, no, that wasn't me.
By one act or pursuant to one scheme or course of conduct. I don't question at all the decision of the state not to pursue the death penalty. But as I sit here...
Let them live back there, bro. I always say the death penalty is not really necessary. Just let somebody live in those prison conditions that they put all those people in, and that's enough. That's hell already.
In this courtroom and look around the many...
Death is too easy for Murdaugh, you know what I mean? It's an easy way out.
portraits of judges and other court officials and reflect on the fact that over the past century, your family, including you, have been prosecuting people here in this courtroom, and many have received the death penalty. Probably for lesser conduct.
What the fuck? I didn't know Murdaugh prosecuted people and put them on death row. That's pretty crazy. I thought he was more of a, like, I don't know what kind of lawyer he was, but damn. Maybe his family members too. But how do you lie when you have lawyers? Like, he lied one time. Well, how do you not have lawyers to at least keep that lie straight? That's what I don't understand. Did they not coach him? Like, I don't get it.
Believe, or 80, 90%, 99% believe that you continue to lie now when your statement of denial to the court. Perhaps you believe that it does not matter, that there's nothing that can mitigate a sentence given the crimes that were committed. You know, a notice of alibi was filed in this case by counsel in November, and we conducted a hearing, pretrial hearing, in which you claimed to have been someplace else at the time the crime was committed.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after all of the witnesses placed you at the scene of the crime, at the last minute, or last minutes or days, you switch courses and admitted to being there.
That's the crazy part to me. He's going to actually admit to that ginormous lie mid-trial. Like, how does that make you look? Even if you're not guilty, you're not innocent. Something's going on. Like, you know what I mean?
And then that necessitated more lies and continued to lie. And I said, where will it end? It's already ended for many who have heard you and concluded that it'll never end. But within your own soul.
Yo, this guard at the back is ready to fuck him up. Graybeard at the back. Look at his face.
And I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. I'm sure.
All day and every night.
I'm sure. And they will continue to do so.
In a haunting way.
And reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes, as you looked the jury in the eyes. You know, your license to practice law has been stripped away from you. You turned from lawyer to witness. And now have an opportunity to make your final appeal as an ex-lawyer. And it's almost, it's really surprising that you're waiving this right at this time.
What's the point?
If you opt to do so, it's on you. You're not compelled to say anything. But you have the opportunity to do so.
Man, he really wants him to confess. He wants this to be his life-achieving confession, like, as a judge. Like, I got one to confess. I'm sorry, Judge. He's not confessing.
And I tell you again, I respect this court, but I'm innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I would never, under any circumstances, hurt my wife, Maggie. And I would never, under any circumstances,
Look at Buster in the back.
hurt my son, Pawpaw.
And why is he
And it might not
Pawpaw?
have been you.
Like, geez, that name is just annoying now. They probably called him Pawpaw like once a week. Now he's Pawpaw all day, every day. That's my boy, Pawpaw. The fuck?
It might have been
I'm gonna call him Pawpaw from now.
the monster you become when you take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills. Maybe you become another person. I've seen that before. The person standing before me was not the person who committed the crime, though it's the same individual.
I like the judge. He's like, though it's the same individual. So, you know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? The body is still going to jail. The different person, you know, is still within that body. So, bye-bye. He's getting philosophical on him.
You can convince yourself about it, but obviously you have the inability to convince anyone else about that. So if you made any such arguments as a lawyer, you would lose every case of that, like that. Cases you will never have an opportunity to argue anymore, except perhaps your own, as you sit in the Department of Corrections.
Man, he's laying it on them, bro. I'm not these little soft words are going down like hammers. He's reminding them that he's never gonna get to be outside. He's never gonna get to work no more. Imagine how fun it must have been for him to shoot hogs and shit and go out and shoot stuff. Can't do that no more, bro.
Further.
It's gonna be tough. Now, if you notice, all the family looks sad and upset and just disgusted. Look at Buster though. He's just like, damn. You know, I don't trust that kid, bro. He did something. The more they look into this guy, the crazier that story will get. Right? Yeah, he knows he's out of there. He is out of there, man. Shit, it's over with. Yo, I hope you guys liked that video. If you did, like, subscribe, do all that fun shit, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to see you in another video. I'm going to probably cover some Buster next. Seeing how I feel. Hit me up in the comments. Do my Instagram, all that shit. Love y'all. See you later.